Hello out there, YouTubers. This is Dungeon Master Keegan. Again, I am continuing to talk to you about the book The Master of the Game by Gary Gygax, Principles and Techniques for Becoming an Expert Role-Playing Game Master. Gary Gygax, co-creator of Dungeons and Dragons. Chapter 2. Chapter 2 is How is Mastery Measured? This was an interesting chapter. Gary definitely has some interesting perspectives that I think a lot of them are very valid on what makes a master game master, or how is mastery measured. This is more of an abstract chapter. Gary's kind of just speaking generally about a lot of things, so I'm just going to kind of give you what I got from it, my interpretation of what Gary said in this chapter. Chapter 2 was fairly short also, by the way. Ultimately, the Game Master is in charge of overseeing the game, and he did outline that in Chapter 1. In small communities, Gary had mentioned that it may be a little more difficult to find a good game master because some small communities are limited to, the one guy that knows how to run certain game systems is like the only game in town. And so just because you're a game master doesn't mean that you're necessarily a good one. And there are kind of qualities that he talks about, that there are things that a master game master does, and there are kind of proofs of what goes along with being a master game master, like indications of somebody that is a master game master. It takes being a game master very serious. And so he's talking about, the measurement of that and how players might measure that, or how other game masters may look at other game masters and critique them, or maybe a measuring tool how a game master could critique themselves. So from Gary's perspective, master game masters were somewhat uncommon. That was that's what I took from the chapter, that just because someone is a game master by default, in other words, nobody else wants to be the game master in that group or in that town or in that community. If somebody is a game master by default, he's saying that the odds of them being a master game master are reduced, which makes sense. Somebody that's forced into something or kind of with half interest takes on a role. Usually, it's just the outcome is going to be just that. If it's half-hearted, it's going to be half-hearted outcome. I've heard of some groups even sharing the role of game master so they can get the experience of being a player or being the game master, experiencing kind of both ends, so they rotate around. I think that's pretty cool. That's a cool idea. But let's get back to the chapter. And the chapter, again, is how mastery is measured. Gary kind of pointed out that the game masters fall in a spectrum between those that are truly master game masters, which I'll get into more details about what he means by master game master. And then you have those that fall on the other side of the spectrum, and those are people that are in the dungeon master or game master role by default. In other words, they weren't necessarily wanting to take on that role, they just ended up doing that role. And so those are the ones on the far side of the spectrum on default, the Master GM on the other side of the spectrum. Obviously, if you're a good game master, and let's just talk about being a good game master. If you're a good game master, your players generally are looking forward to the next game session. I don't think anybody should get down on themselves if they don't consider themselves to be a fantastic game master. But if you're out there trying and you're working to learn the game system better, you're working on improving, and you have friends or acquaintances or just people that are interested in playing, and they are going through the process of helping you to improve or giving you the experience of improving, I think that's great. Not everybody has to be Da Vinci to be able to design something or draw a picture. To make something that's absolutely breathtaking and outstanding, certainly it doesn't hurt to be Da Vinci. But not everybody is Da Vinci. Not everybody is that master at whatever, Beethoven or Bach, or, pick up the fiddle and play. If that's what you want to do, do it. If you want to be better at it, play it more. What makes a master game master? That's interesting. In my opinion, a master game master is one that really tries to pay attention to the players, tries to create a fun, energetic gaming experience that tells a fun story that's memorable, something that kind of clings to the back of the memory banks for years and years and years. A master game master is somebody that dedicates free time to exploring more about the game system, possibilities of the game system. A master game master, in my opinion, thinks outside the box. They're creative. They're very interested. Being a game master is really a service to the players in a lot of ways. I don't know, is this stretching it? Maybe saying that being a game master is almost a charitable thing? I think it's cool. But when your heart's in it, it almost becomes like a service, because you're wanting to create this fantastic experience for your friends or acquaintances or fellows that you're gaming with. And that to me, just that attitude, that desire, somebody spending their extra time, putting forward finances to acquire things for a group of people to enjoy. As a game master, I think I get as much or more out of it than the players that are in my particular campaign group, that now are my friends, and I've got to know over a period of time, and so for me, I think I get as much or more enjoyment gaming with them or running the game for them than I ever anticipated. When I was young, I didn't think that being a game master would be very fun. Now I find it to be very fun, because it's getting the opportunity to share the art of the game, art of the hobby with others, and keep the hobby alive and afloat and renewed and invigorated and out there in the forefront of our minds. This is a hobby that I don't ever want to go away. Gary was saying some things about the qualities of a master game master, and he sort of went into two areas of detail, maybe ways of describing the master game master, maybe the depth, these were his words, the depth and the breadth of a master game master. And he was saying that the depth of a game master is somebody that knows their RPG system. They run a campaign. They master their scenarios. He also mentioned that just because somebody has game mastered for a long time, 20 years or 35 years, it doesn't mean that they're a master game master. Although granted, gaming or running games for that long, hats off. That's pretty outstanding. But as from Gary's perspective, he's saying that doesn't time game mastering does not equate to being a master game master. Game mastering alone does not equal quality game mastering, because when you're first getting started as a game master, you're going to be doing a lot of fumbling. I know that I did, and that's why I think Gary said that all the rules that he designed were guidelines, and I appreciate that, because as a game master, you're going to have to make some determinations of things kind of on the fly, and those may be things that may not be written in black and white in the rules. So hopefully you're making decisions that your party will appreciate, and you're trying to make decisions that are fair and just, and yet you're trying to make decisions that are going to promote the genesis of the continuation of the enjoyment of the game. Okay, so let's get into the breadth of what makes a master game master, and that's somebody that knows multiple game systems. These are Gary's perspectives. Possibly runs more than one group, contributes to different gaming periodicals by submitting articles, or possibly they're a freelance writer of gaming material. They write scenarios, they design rules. Possibly they're actually a game system designer themselves. Those are all things that are in the category of the breadth versus the depth of being a master game master. And I don't have a lot of the qualities of the breadth of being a master game master. I think I'm a fairly good game master, I think, but is my style for everybody? It's not, and I don't have a lot of the qualities in the breadth category. I don't really have much opinion on the breadth category because I think it's kind of black and white, and I think he summarized that rather eloquently. Gary pointed out that a quality of a master game master is that they continually strive to improve. I think everybody that takes on the role of game master, I can't imagine somebody not wanting to improve. I can't imagine somebody just going, I'm just going to be status quo, and I just don't see that happening. If somebody doesn't have a heart or passion to run games, they're not going to do it for very long. So I would say that most game masters that are doing this over an extended period of time are improving or have a desire to improve. And so potentially I think every game master is on the path to potentially becoming a master game master. And I should hope so. Master game masters try to find different opportunities to share their love of the game, whether it's going beyond the security and privacy of their own home, breaking out into gaming groups, or now, with modern technology, playing online, sharing over Roll20 or Google Hangouts, and just sharing that art of being a game master with the world around us is a sign of somebody that wants to do service, somebody that wants to not just keep this to themselves. They're the type of person that wants to put forward the effort to get out there and provide this fun opportunity and experience for people so that others can enjoy it. And so they're not trying to hoard the knowledge of how to play the game. Another indicator of a really good master game master, or just a good game master, a good dungeon master, is that that person would get positive feedback from the players. That the players will go, I'm looking forward to the next game. Really had a lot of fun. Can't wait for the next one. Anything along that line. Hopefully your players aren't just feeding you full of sunshine, because game masters need critical feedback to be able to help them to make the game experience more enjoyable, especially if it's a consistent group of people that are playing. So hopefully, you have more than just yes people around you. You have people that go, this variable or that variable, and then they give their constructive criticism. Could use possibly some change. Maybe we could try this. Or, I really appreciate the players that are not rules lawyers, that allow the Dungeon Master to make those judgment calls, that have trust in the Dungeon Master that he is judicious and he will try to make decisions that are focused in balance of the game. And whether those decisions are black and white based upon the rules that have been written, or they're just the Dungeon Master making the best decision that he can in a brief time frame so as not to slow the game down. And someone that can do that well is a good Dungeon Master. A master GM tries to teach others the art of game mastery, and they try to grow new game masters, new dungeon masters. They try to develop the interest so that others may want to do that, and help them to go through the process, maybe be the assistant DM for them so that they can run a game and get a feel for it. A master game master is somebody that is not selfish. They're a person that is very imaginative, and they're very creative. They are a joyful personality usually, and they have a good heart, and they like to share. So, in summary of Gary, Master of the Game, Chapter 2, how is mastery measured? It's measured by the fruit of the game master's experience, by the feedback from the players. Is the game master getting out there and trying to share information with the world? Are they, are you community building? Are you promoting the gaming industry in general as a whole? I think that a good game master would do that. What are your motivations as a game master? Selfish, or are they more altruistic? I think that a good game master has a more altruistic approach to things, and really tries to keep everybody floating, afloat, and doing well, and enjoying the experience. Because a good quality game master or master game master wants to perpetuate the art form, wants to perpetuate the hobby. And so that's my summary of Gary Gygax, Master of the Game, Chapter 2. I hope that you enjoyed it. Please click like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Please share it. Definitely wanting to build up the channel and so that I have the opportunity to share with more of you. So thank you, and I hope that you have a fantastic day. Until next time, guys.